Welcome to Ponytails and Pep Talks, the podcast where blowouts, breakdowns, and breakthroughs are a weekly discussion. I'm your host, Regina. For over 3 decades, I've been behind the salon chair as a stylist, an owner, and yes, your favorite unlicensed therapist. I have heard it all. The tears, the triumphs, the you won't believe what just happened stories from courageous women overcoming incredible obstacles. So let's meet one of them right now on Ponytails and Pep Talks. Welcome everyone to today's episode of Ponytails and Pep Talks. I'm your host, Regina. Today's conversation is a beautiful reminder that it's never too late to keep building. My guest is a resilient woman in her 70s who spent most of her life self-employed along the side of her husband, choosing creativity, independence, and faith over traditional path. However, some lessons came later than expected, but instead of fear and regret, she leaned into her faith and kept moving forward. Welcome, Vernie Murray, to Ponytails and Pep Talks. Tell us a little bit about you.
Well, hi, Regina. Thanks for having me. Let's see. Well, it was me more, the entrepreneur, and my husband worked, so we paid our bills. But let's see, what about me? Well, I'm 72 years old, and I
Mhm.
have 2 sons. One is 28 and one is 51. My 28-year-old was our foster baby, and we got to adopt him. So let's see. I'm energetic. I love life. I love Jesus. Yeah, I don't know. What else do you want to know?
No, that's great because we'll get into more of your life as we go along. So that's a great intro. So
Okay.
you chose a path of self-employment. Why was that important to you?
Well, I have had jobs throughout my life, mostly waiting tables. I love the public. I just
Mm-hmm.
love people. And so I really enjoyed that. But I had a longing to have a store. And we ended up with 2 stores, not at the same time. But yeah, it was really fun, exciting. I enjoyed every bit of it. I liked being my own boss. I liked that a lot. Yes. And just setting my own hours. However, when you have a store, it's like 9 to 6. But
At
yeah,
least. Yeah.
yes, at least. Well, that's just open. I mean, I had it all the time in my mind. Go to bed, wake up, it's still in my mind. So yeah.
Absolutely. And I'm very much that people person also. I spent many years waitressing and then many years as a hairdresser, and I can't imagine my life without other people in it. Now, while you are being self-employed and taking care of these businesses, you also are raising your children. So, what challenges were you facing taking care of the children and running your own business? And then your husband has his own business he's doing.
Well, no, he doesn't have a business. He had jobs.
Right. Yeah. So he had his job
Yeah, he
and
had his job.
you had the business.
Well, I'll tell you, we had 2 separate families because one's 28 and one's 51. And actually, the 51-year-old, we had a really great time, and then teenage stage happened. And during
Mm,
that teenage stage, it was like nervous breakdown. I mean, it was like, oh my gosh,
ah,
what do you do with this? You wake up and it's not the same kid. So what we ended up doing, we had some real family issues, and
mhm.
we needed help. And so my
Yeah.
son was getting involved in wrong kids. So we put the store up for sale, and people, they call it, oh my gosh, blue skies. And so nobody wanted to pay for what my blue sky was. I developed it. I had tanning beds and clientele and screen printing and just all sorts of stuff in this store. But my kid came first. And so anyway, we ended up closing the store, and it was sad, but
Yes.
we had him in an environment that was so positive and so based on the love of Jesus. And yeah, and this young man to this day is an amazing young man and married. Yeah, and has two sons. The other
That is, mhm.
the other little guy who is 28 at the time I started a daycare because he was my foster baby. And I did not want to go to work. I wanted to stay home with him. So for 5 years, I had a daycare. I had a helper and 12 kids. And to this day, I am still close to the kids and they're adults. And guess what? They are my references now if I want to be a nanny.
There you go. I love the beautiful sacrifice that you gave. Most people would think that you gave up for your family, but actually you gave it up because of the love of your family. And
Absolutely.
yeah, I love that we can already see the outcome of that, that your family is more important than a job. And
Absolutely.
you do
Absolutely.
what you have to do to take care of those children and, make life work. So you're going along in business. Did you go after you were doing the daycare? What other businesses did you have after that?
Well, when my kiddo went to school and started going into school, I started another Vernie's Varieties, T's like in
Okay.
Tees, and I
Okay.
started it back up in a cute little town that we lived in, and I'm telling you, it was so much fun. But I got fibromyalgia, and it was
Oh,
health or the
yes.
store. And so I closed the store after 2 years. We had a great little store. I'm telling you, being in business is tough on you as
Yes, it
far
is.
as a storefront. You have to be there.
You
So
do.
yeah, and so after that, I took a rest for about a year and became a nanny while my
Okay.
kiddo was in high school and took
Hmm.
care of two little girls for about 8 years. So yeah,
I
I've
love,
always been
yeah.
in business.
You have, and I love the way that you're willing to change and not give up. Because a
Oh
lot of
yeah,
people would have completely given up, by now. Oh, well, this is too hard. Never mind, not doing this. Now, as time goes by, then at some point you begin to look into, retirement. Well, let's think about this. You have done all these jobs, you have done all these things. However, that's when life changed for you again. How did this impact your life as the realization that there was not any retirement set aside for you?
huge, huge.
Mm.
Um, I want to go back for a second because I
Mhm.
had a brain injury from 3 car accidents where I was
Ah,
the passenger. So I have what you
wow.
call
Wow.
an accumulative brain injury, a TBI. And so I wasn't going to let that stop me either.
Ah,
And
you're a
so
powerhouse.
I try to be. There are days, though, that the powerhouse needs to go to bed and just rest. But
Right.
anyway, as far as retirement, my bookkeepers did not tell me, hello, you need to save
Mm,
out, you need to take out for Social Security. And it's like, I find this out after we started doing taxes when I started back to work at a real job. I mean, my jobs
yeah.
were all real, but it was
Right.
like being paid,
In a paid
through a
position job.
paycheck. So,
Right.
yeah, and I'm going, oh my gosh. And I got my first Social Security check. It was 7.95. How?
Oh,
I have a husband.
you you
How
can't even
would
buy
a person
groceries for
live on
that
that?
anymore.
No, no,
No, you can't even buy
absolutely.
groceries for your family. So at this point, what were your moments that you just kind of questioned God and like, okay, God, I love you, I respect you, I've lived for you, I've worked hard all my life. Now, what do I do? Were there scriptures that you leaned on as you're praying to God, asking for direction?
Oh, well, actually, my faith has always been strong.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would say Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean
Mm-hmm.
not to your own understanding, but in
Yeah.
all your ways acknowledge him and he will direct your path. That was my grandma's verse, and I thought, I'm going to take that verse on. And then one day I thought, oh, you don't want me to memorize this, you want me to live it. Oh,
To live it.
yeah,
Oh, yeah,
yes.
absolutely.
And you do, you start thinking about things that worry you. And then, so
Hmm.
I would go to Philippians, where it talks about think of the things that are good and the things that,
Yeah.
that you
Or
can't
pure and
lean.
honest. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yes,
Yeah.
honestly. And so, I just ordered the little book. It's called Hung by the Tongue, and it's all about
Mm,
scriptures and stuff. And I think it's
okay.
going to be great because the mind doesn't realize that you are actually, when you're saying something negative,
Hmm.
it reacts and it
It does.
makes your demeanor and everything change. And so, the Lord gave us a wonderful brain, and He wants to better us in so many ways through His scriptures, through the help of lots of other people. And
Yeah.
yeah, and thank you. You are a Christian, I can tell, because you know those little scriptures.
I am, and I do. And what I was going to say is because the Bible does say that, life and death is spoken out of our mouth.
Oh yes,
And,
in
you
James.
know, right. The world will say positive and negative, reflects, but it's the same thing. What we speak, what we think is what we become and how we act. So it
Yes,
is very important, very important. Let's go back to you now after discovering the things with the retirement. You're now working, getting a W 2. Your husband decides to go back to school. How did that
yes,
affect
he
everything?
does. Well,
Hmm.
it's so bizarre because he worked for Walmart for 18 years as a district manager for the 1 hour photo. Well, one
Okay.
day we woke up and it was digital. So his job was
Uh,
out the door. And so,
oh,
anyway, he did a couple of things off and on. And then at 50 years old, I go, you know what? We're already living on top ramen. Let's go for it. What do you have to lose? And so he went into x ray. And then when he
okay.
finished his x ray, where we lived in Eastern Washington is where we preferred to live. It was saturated. There were X-ray techs everywhere, and so he could only
Oh,
get PRN jobs. So he ended
hmm.
up moving to a town called Longview, Washington. He was there for 18 months with his sister and brother-in-law, and my son was a senior. I was not taking him out. And so we saw each
Yeah,
other a
no.
day and a half a week.
Wow.
And
Wow.
yeah, day and a half a week for 18 months. And it was like, this is not working. We came to the conclusion because I'd been to Texas for 9 years, coming back and forth for another company I used to work with in
Hmm.
jewelry. And we did all of our big seminars and stuff there. So here we are in Texas because somebody said, "Hey, come check out Bernie." And when we left Washington, it was like, "Was that Bourne, Texas?" No, it's Bernie. So that's how
It
we
is
ended up in
Bernie.
Texas.
Yeah, that is great. It's amazing to me. I've grown up in Texas my entire life. I've never lived in another state. I've only ever lived in two towns. So I couldn't even imagine just picking up and moving to another place. I love, though, that you and your husband both are willing to continue to hustle, to continue to do, what you need to do. So let's talk about when the Park Lane jewelry found its way into your life and how much of a godsend that was to you.
Well, it's like this. I used to be in another jewelry company, and
Okay.
my upline actually is the one that said, "Hey, come to Bernie, Texas." We were still in the same company together, and I
Hmm.
said, "Sure, why not?" Now, everybody thought we were crazy. We were leaving. all of our family, but
Yeah,
we needed steady jobs and to be under one house and not
right.
18 months away from each other. But as far as Park Lane, my friend introduced it to me, but she introduced it to me 4 years ago and I didn't have the need. Well, now I
Mm,
have the need and I wanted to set my own hours, my own pace,
right.
and I love ladies. I love, love, love them. I love to spoil them with jewelry. So it was just a no-brainer to get back into the jewelry business.
Something that you were
Wi-
comfortable with already. So
Yes, and it's
that
direct
is,
sales. So, and as far as direct
yes,
sales go, that's a tough road to go too. You know,
it
you
is.
you don't you just have to take your nose and keep moving on. But
Absolutely. So, what would you tell some of these very other hardworking women in their 30s and 40s that you wish you would have known during that time?
oh my gosh, I'm telling you, I love direct sales. I do. And
Okay,
can I show you something? Just
absolutely.
a cute little thing right here. Our
Oh, it's
jewelry is
beautiful.
fabulous. Yes, it is.
Yes.
It's fabulous. And one of the things is that I love being around ladies, so it was just a no-brainer. And you
Hmm.
always need extra income. Well, with this,
Right.
I could at least make $500, but majority of the time I made eight and 1,000 and in
Yeah.
September 1,600. So it was like, wow,
Nice.
you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, here's the mommies out there. I want to tell them that you don't have to go out and get a babysitter. You can do this just like this online,
Mm,
and you get your hostesses involved that way. And you don't have to. You can do have a shirt on and then down below have your jammy bottoms. But, I mean, and then you don't have to worry about whether or not you're going to have a sitter because your hubby's out there and your kiddo is
yes.
already in bed. So, I mean, it's really an amazing, amazing way to make extra money. And majority of my shows are $1,000 shows where I
Hmm.
made 30% of that. That's what they start
Okay.
you out with, and that was
Yes.
$300,
Yes.
for a half
For an
an hour.
evening's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a half an
Yeah.
hour on
That's pretty
camera.
good.
And when you
That's pretty
go and
good.
you do it in person, it
Mhm.
usually takes about an hour because my hostesses love to feed their people. And then after they've eaten, then
Yes.
I go
Of
ahead
course.
and I go through the whole jewelry end of it. So yeah, and I love hostesses that are far away, because I can do it this way. And so, yeah, it's
That's what I
great.
was going to say. Through the magic of the internet, it doesn't matter where these women are in the United States.
Absolutely.
They can do a show, and one that also their friends are seeing, so that they can win.
Absolutely.
I'm sure, like other things, they win gifts themselves and the specials and the prizes and things that go along with it. Because I've been to one of your shows and saw all the amazing deals, and the jewelry is just beautiful, and the
It is.
guarantees that they have with it. So how can someone connect with you that doesn't live here but is like, hey, I like her. She's really spunky and fun and positive, and I want to, introduce her to my friends. How can we contact you?
Well, I'm going to give you my telephone number, and it would be
Okay.
best if they text message me rather than
Right.
messenger because sometimes you have to, be Facebook friends or whatever. So, really, text messaging, and I do have a Washington State because that's where we moved from, and I don't
Yes,
want to
of
have to
course.
change it. So, it's a Washington State number, and
Okay.
it's 509-989-5176. And can I tell you a special that's going on that they just sprung at us? Because it is
Absolutely. Because do they
fabulous.
have to even do a show? Can they just call you and place an order?
Yes, yes. I
Okay, good.
always have some kind of a little party going on, but right now I do have a party open and
Okay.
the special is crazy special. You you can look online and see just tons of our regular price. Don't go with the sale price. You can add that too, but what you
Okay.
want to do is you want to right now it's spend $60. That's all.
Yes.
$60. You can get another piece, anything in the catalog, like this bracelet right here. Oh, in fact, look at these. These bracelets right here are
A
normally
little bit higher. There we go.
$188.
Mm,
$188. Guess what? You can get it for 35 during this
no way.
special. Yes,
Wow.
35, but Park Lane went one bigger. This is Park Lane jewelry. I don't know if I spoke that, but Park Lane's 70 years old and they
Okay.
stand behind their product. I mean, they stand behind their product lifetime. So anyway, the rest of the special is you get to pick one piece up to
Mhm.
$100 for free.
Wow, the Christmas
Free.
gifts. Oh my gosh, right now would be
Yes.
perfect because people could spend a little and get several gifts to give to family. That is fabulous.
Absolutely. And also you can buy two at the least expensive and get four at the most expensive for half price. Who does
That
that?
is
A
fabulous. Yeah,
BOGO
who does
sale.
that? Who does that?
Yeah.
Exactly. So, Bernie, what about, someone else your age? Would you recommend that they could do this, that it's easy to
Oh,
do?
yes, it's what it is. It's a challenge because I'm not techie. I'm not techie at
Okay.
all.
That's
I
the one
actually,
downside. Yeah.
yes, actually, you get with somebody that is techie, and
Mm-hmm.
actually, once you learn it, it's amazing. Like having
Yeah.
doing a party for somebody online, you could have
Hmm.
4 or 5 parties going at the same time
Oh,
where
wow.
you are showing the jewelry and
Hmm.
5 different hostesses are getting our average hostess gets
Oh,
400 in free jewelry, their pick, their choice, and
wow.
at least 400. Most of my
Right.
girls get over 5. So yeah, it's fabulous.
I love the idea, especially of this being online, because I'm thinking about women that are housebound, that are not able to get
Yes,
out in public, how easy of a job this would be for them because they can
oh,
conduct it right at
absolutely,
home and never have to actually go have a party at someone's house. So I just thought,
absolutely.
wow, that this would be a great job for someone like that. So,
Yes, absolutely. I mean, to me, I'm just learning. I've done 3 Facebook Lives now, and each
oh,
time
yay.
I'm doing better, you know. I mean, it's
Of
exciting, but
course.
you're like, oh my gosh, I have butterflies. And my earrings were shaking. And so I said,
Oh,
see, anybody can do this, anybody. But yes,
yes.
what a wonderful way to bring in extra income, whether you only
Right.
need $500, $300, or if you want to actually earn to the next level and get 35% of your
Okay.
amount, and it goes all the way to 50, and a
Ah,
Mercedes. I'm
oh
like
my.
this
Okay.
close to being an area leader, and what that is,
Yay.
yeah. And so that gives me the opportunity to actually someday get a Mercedes, and they pay for it. They give you
I
the
love it.
allowance. They give
I
you
love
trips
it.
to earn. There is
Oh,
so much. I earned this right here because I did so many different little parties. I couldn't
right.
tell you the name because it doesn't come with a name, but this
Right.
isn't in the catalog. This was just a special
Hmm.
gift from Park Lane. They do that to their hostess or their
Wow.
stylists all the time. So yeah,
Yeah. That
It's
is wonderful.
exciting.
I'm loving this story because I, haven't got to talk to you to this point of finding out all about that. But Bernie, I fell in love with you the first night that I met you, and
Oh,
I really couldn't wait for you to come on here. I love your personality. I love that you never give up. I love your faith in God and how he's provided for you. I love that you've had family support and friends. But I thank you for being vulnerable whenever you came on here because, talking about finances and hard work and, things that you've been through isn't always easy. So I want to thank you for that. And thank you for being on Ponytails and Pep Talks. And let this be a reminder that life doesn't end at a certain age, and neither does your purpose. Vernie has
yes.
touched women's lives in this part of her journey that she would not have come across any other way. So thank you for listening today to Ponytails and Pep Talks. And be sure to like and subscribe and to share. Keep your ponytail high,
Yes.
your cup of tea warm, and your encouraging words for those around you. Thanks again and have a Merry Christmas.